This is the Porsche Panamera 4 e-hybrid Platinum Edition.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go.
This Platinum Edition is the Thai model and the starting price is at 7,790,000 baht, which if you compare to the standard model, it is at 7,450,000 baht. If you do the math, the difference is around 340,000 baht. If you spend 340,000 baht extra to get the Platinum Edition, you will get a lot more features, functions, and designs. But what will you get? And is it beneficial to you? Let's find out. The first of many things that you will be getting, and it is one of the main highlights, which is the 21 inches exclusive design sports wheel. For the rear, you'll be getting three things. The first is the exclusive design taillights, the sports tailpipes in black, and the Porsche lettering right here. Next are the side air outlets right here and the side window trim in black. For the interior, there are many things you'll also be getting. The first is the panoramic roof system. Second is the Porsche crest on front and back of the headrest. You'll also be getting the brushed aluminum interior package in black, the lane change assist system, and the GT Sport steering wheel. There's more to that. You'll also be getting the 7.2 kilowatt onboard AC charger and the LED with the PDLS Plus, which is the Porsche Dynamic Light System Plus. These are most of the options, features, and functions and designs that you'll be getting in the Platinum Edition compared to the standard version. If you compare the price that I previously mentioned, which is around 340,000 baht, you can see the main difference. All of these options, functions, features, and design, I am sure this will be more beneficial to you compared to if you just choose some of the functions or designs separately, because if you choose separately, the cost will be much higher than you can imagine. But there's also more than that. For the Platinum Edition, you can also choose or configure more options if you want to. But just in case if you feel that the options in the Platinum Edition is not that good or you don't feel like it, you can also choose the standard version that I mentioned before and just choose or configure some options that you may like instead, because you will have a better image of what your car looks like and how much it will cost. But there's one important thing to consider, which is in Thailand there are two main distributors, which is the authorized dealers and the gray market. Personally, I recommend you to go through the authorized dealer, which is from Porsche Thailand by AAS Group. And in total, there are 4 branches. One in Icon Siam, second is at Siam Paragon, third is at Don Mueang, and 4 is at Patanakan, which you can go and visit if you want more information. And not only that, you'll also be getting the warranty and the maintenance quality if you compare to the gray market, which might not be the same as the authorized dealers. Before we decide on that, let's look at the Panamera Platinum Edition, if it's worth the money or not. If you look at the exterior designs, this car is super cool. If you want a sports-like car, this is the model to go for you. If you look throughout the car, whether it's from the front, side, or rear, it oozes dynamic sports. For example, from the front, you can see clearly from the trim on the hood, the headlamps, and the Porsche logo. The side is no exception. One of the main highlights, of course, is the alloy wheels. But since this is a sports car, it is normal that you think that inside or the interior might not be that comfortable. But I'll give you a little bit of spoiler. The inside or the interior of this car is more than what you think. It is very comfortable and luxurious. I'll give you a little bit of sneak peek. But before that, let's look at the space when we open the door. There's a decent amount of space if you want to get in or get out of the car, which is very comfortable. But there's one thing to mention, which is the ground clearance of this vehicle. If you look, this is not that high. And if you talk about Thailand and the road of Thailand, it is not that smooth. There are many potholes and some of the roads are not that straight. So if you look at the ground clearance right here, it might somehow damage your vehicle. But luckily for the Porsche Panamera, there's an option or system that could lift and increase the ground clearance of this vehicle. So that might not be that much of a problem, but this is just a consideration just to be careful in case if you are considering this vehicle. The rear personally is the place or the part that I like the most because it's a coupe design. And if it's a coupe design, it's more or less a sports design. And not only that, if you look at the letters of the Porsche, this is very cool. It gives you a dynamic and special feeling to this car. And like I said, the tailpipes and the taillights are an important factor to the rear as well. But not only that, if you look at the luggage compartment, right here, as you can see, there is around 403 liters of space here. So you don't have to worry at all. You can put your luggage back however you like. There's more than enough space. For those who doesn't want to drive, let's take a look at the back seat. The leg space and the headroom are very spacious. You don't have to worry about that at all. But not only that, if you look at the seats here, it is very executive and very comfortable. If you look, you might think, how is it comfortable? Because it is leaning backwards, but you are able to adjust it however you want to. There's a switch on the side. You can set it to be very straight however you want, like this. Or maybe if you don't want to sit like this, if you want to sleep, for example, you can set it back and you can lean and relax. This is a very exclusive seat. You might look from the outside, you might not think that the back seat is not that comfortable, but once you open and take a look, as you can see, it is very, very good. But not only the temperature that you can control, there are other things as well, like the panoramic roof right here. As you can see, this panoramic roof switch is only capable, or you're able to control it only the back seat area. If you want it from the front, this one you have to ask the front or control it from the front. Not only that, there's a blinder at the back too, just by pressing this button. See, this is very, very good. If you look at here, you're able to put about 2 cups or 2 bottles of water here. And over here, there are 2 USB Type-C sockets for you. So that's very convenient. And if you want to rest your hand, you can just put this down like this. But not only that, you can put stuff here as well, like your phones or your wallet, for example. Before we get to driving, let's look at some technical data of the Panamera 4 e-hybrid Platinum Edition. This is a 3.0 twin-turbo V6 engine with electric motor. The total system power is at 462 horsepower and the total system torque is at 700 Newton meters. If you accelerate 0 to 100 kilometers per hour with the launch control, it only takes 4.4 seconds. If you feel like using the electric mode for driving, the maximum distance is at 55 kilometers. This is at 100%. And the top speed in the electric mode is at 280 kilometers per hour. The Panamera is an all-wheel drive model and uses an 8-speed transmission. And it uses the 17.9 kilowatt per hour lithium-ion battery. And if you look at the official number for the fuel consumption rate, this is at 45.45 kilometers per liter. There's nothing wrong if you like to sit at the back seat, but I think personally you won't get the full capabilities of this vehicle if you only sit at the back seat and let the driver drive for you. So here we are. I am going to drive this car and see how well it is. But before we talk about the test drive, let's talk about the designs here first because it is very eye-catching. If you look at the design, just like at the back seat, it is very luxurious. If you look at the dashboard here, it is one of the main highlights. For the touchscreen monitor, you're allowed to access a lot of application, which is quite convenient, but only if you're not driving for safety purposes. But underneath or below the monitor, there are some shortcuts that you can go to in case you're driving and you need to access them. If you are familiar with the Porsche car, normally everything is the same. Whether it's the design, the functions, or any type of features, everything is normally the same. But if this is your first time seeing a Porsche car, you might be astonished or you might be confused to some functions, such as the functions here around the gear. If you look at first glance, you might be surprised like, oh, what are these buttons? Because there are quite a lot and you might get dazzled. But if you look carefully, if you study them for like 5 minutes, is simpler than you think because all of these buttons here are just to control the temperature or the air conditioner of the car. That's it. For the functions here, it is not that necessary to control them or to access them while driving. The only functions that are quite important while you're driving are the driving assistant options. There are two parts or two places that you can access them. There's up here. These are the park assistant buttons right here. As for the driving stuff or the driving modes, most of them are on the steering wheel. This right here is the drive mode. It is very clear to see. You can access them without having to look elsewhere. This is for safety purposes. If you switch here, you switch to hybrid, you switch from hybrid to sport. There's a little monitor here on the screen here, you're able to see. If I switch again, it will be Sport Plus. And if I switch here again, that's the maximum. If you want to go back, you just turn left. Back to Sport and back to Hybrid. So if you want to change from Hybrid to Sport or to Sport Plus, you switch it clockwise. But if you want to switch back, you switch it counterclockwise. As for the safety functions, there's the blind spot monitor here on the screen, as you can see here, right here. Normally it's on the window, right? But this one is on the side, which is quite convenient actually. At first I was not that sure if it's going to be good or not, but when I use it, I think it's quite good because when you turn here, you're able to see it quite clearly. Now let's talk about driving. This car is very, very fun to drive, as you can see right now. See, if you want to accelerate, you can have as much fun as you like. Or if you want to brake for safety purposes, it's very cool. If you want to change lanes, see? The control is very, very good. Not only that, but if you look, let's just take a feel for it. This is just the hybrid mode, by the way. If you want it to be stronger or faster, you can change it to Sport. Or if you want more than that, then go for Sport Plus, however you see fit. Let's go. This is just a mini curve, and let's see its control. It's quite firm as you can see, but there's more to that. But just in case you want to brake, there you go. And let's go through here. One of the main highlights for the Porsche Panamera is the performance or its driving capabilities. Since this car has a low center of gravity, and if you look at the ground clearance, it is not that high. So it is quite good and the grip is very strong and firm. As you can see, I will give you a little bit of a demonstration. So I will be doing a quick lane change. Right here, let's go here. As you can see, it is very easy to control, but I repeat, this is just a demonstration, okay? Please do not try this if it is not necessary. And then the next one, we'll be doing 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Let's see how many seconds it will take. This is just an estimate number, okay? Just to get the feel of it. And you can compare it to the number that Porsche Thailand has accumulated. Okay, so if you're ready, this is hybrid mode, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Let's go 70, 80, 90, 100. This is the second time. We will try again just to see the estimate. 0 to 100 hybrid mode. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's go. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. This one we will be doing sports mode. So I'll just switch here to my right. And then it will say here, sports. Okay, and you can hear the engine. It changed sounds a little bit. Okay, 0 to 100. 1, 2, 3, go. 90, 100. And this is the last one. We are going to Sport Plus. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Let's go. 80, 90, 100. As you can see from the numbers, this car is very aggressive in terms of its driving. It has a sport feel to it. But not only that, if you look at the interiors such as the backseat that I mentioned before, it is very convenient and comfortable. So it has it both ways. You can use it for driving purposes, you can be aggressive, you can be like very fun with it, or you can just drive relax or comfort with it as well. So it's not just, oh, if you drive this car, you need to be, oh, super aggressive, you need to have fun all the time. It's not like that. It could be a very useful family car as well, depending on how you use it. For example, if you want to use it for city drive, this is very convenient as well. You can drive super fast or casual. It can go both ways for this car. In short, it can go both ways. You want convenient, you can choose that. You want sports, go for it. But since we are talking about how fun it is to drive this car, let's go for the sports way first, okay? So I'll change it to sports again. And then let's go. See? It's very fun, very fun. And in case if you want to accelerate, whether it is low speed, in the medium speed or high speed, this car, its reaction rate is very, very quick. So you don't need to wait that long. You just accelerate and it will come to you. The power, the speed, everything will come to you in an instant like that. But just in case, if you want to go past the other car in front of you and you need it like in a very quick time, you can press this button right here. It will give you 20 seconds. I cannot remember the name exactly for this function, but if you press it, the sports response, that's what it's called on the screen. It gives you about 20 seconds so that you can accelerate very quick. As you can see the rounds here, it pops up or it jumps from like 1 to 3 right here. If you want to stop, you can just press this. I'll show it to you again. So this is normal, nothing happened right now. So this is just a normal drive right now. But in case if you want to use the sport response, if you press this button again, wow, see, it jumps and then you can go for it. This will save you about 1 or 2 seconds. So that's quite important. If you ask me personally, if you just want to pass the car in front of you, you might not even have to use the sport response because this car is quite fast already. You can just change the mode, like from sport to sport plus, for example, or from hybrid to sport. I think that is more than enough. If you're talking about fuel efficiency or fuel economy, if you want to save fuel, this car needs to be charged completely. Your battery must be full, 100% or like 50% is fine if you're not going anywhere far. But you cannot let it run to zero and just use the gasoline only, okay? Because if you use just the gasoline without any electric power to support it, the fuel consumption will not be good. But this is basic, not just for this car, but all cars or all hybrid cars in general. Let's look at the grip one more time. As you can see, the grip is very firm for this car. If you're talking about the convenience in the back seat, there are some things to consider. Firstly, if you sit or if you try it out, when the car is not moving or it is static, the feeling might be different compared to while you're driving. As I showed you before, when it was static, if you sit at the back seat, it is very comfortable. But if you're driving, the feeling might be a bit different. While driving at a high speed, or maybe a decent amount of speed, people that have car sickness, I think they will not like the back seat of this car because at times there might be a limited amount of space, but this depends on the person. So I would highly recommend for those who are interested in this car to try it out first, not just static, but go for a test drive and you might bring a person or two to try the backseat area as well if it's convenient or not. The price is around 7.5 million baht, which is quite high. If you're buying this car, you want the utmost capabilities of this car. But if you went to test drive and you tested out already and you enjoyed it, you feel fine and you like it, well, there's no problem to it then, because like I said, one of the main highlight for this car is the performance. And if the backseat area is fine, the performance is fine, the design, you're okay with it, you like it, then go for it. If you have the money, that is, right? The one thing that I don't like that much for this vehicle is the sound ambience. If you see me or hear me test this car, you might hear a lot of sounds, maybe from other vehicles or from the road, for example. I think if you talk about the caliber of this car, the sound ambience should be a lot better than this. I'm not saying that it's not good, but if you just talk about the quality or the expectation, it is not up to that standard as of yet. But since this is like a sport feel-like car, you might want to hear the sound ambience from outside as well, because it might give you more energy, if you say, or adrenaline if you want to. It gives you more passion, like, oh, I want to drive this car, like that. If you want to test drive this car and you are in Thailand, I recommend you to go through the authorized dealers in Thailand, which is Porsche Thailand by AAS Group. This is the main distributor in Thailand for Porsche cars. If you compare the authorized dealer to the gray market, the authorized dealer is a lot better in terms of maintenance and warranty. So if you prefer that, I recommend that. But if you like to adjust your car, modify your cars, then that is another story. This is the first time that I review in English. So if you have any suggestion or any recommendation, please feel free to comment. And thank you for listening. And I'll see you again next time.